because if you can't do that, then how can you expect to do the one that's like 6 times more complex? It doesn't sound like it's a building thing, it's more of a switching thing. So we would look at isolating what the problem actually is. It's more of, let's say, a switching thing, because maybe you could build this chord, but you can't switch to the other one in time. So what you would do there is you would break it down to, well, okay, you know what? Let's go all the way down. Let's go like super extreme. So can you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like going with just the root note? Most likely you can. If you can't, then you definitely want to be able to do that first in time, because if you can't do that, then how can you expect to do the one that's like, 6 times more complex, because we're not playing 1 string, we're playing 6 strings. So that whole logic, that's a very important understanding there. If you're not able to do the basic one with just the single notes, then how can you expect to do any more than that? So that's where you would start. And then typically what I would suggest is you do power chords and be able to move those. And so again, if you can't do that, then how can you expect to do the bar chords? That's sort of the logic there. And 99% of the time, I mean, that holds up. Like I've really never, I've never seen anyone that couldn't do the power chords, but could do the bar chords beautifully. I mean, there's just like the power chords are in the bar chord. So normally where it ends up is we would go the distance 7 to 2, but it would be kind of sacrificing, like, not, if these notes aren't coming out on the 1st and 2nd string, maybe we would do like, get some hint of that this one here is minor, and some hint here that this one's major. And where that comes from is the 3rd string. So this string over here is the one, this is the one that makes it sound like the chord that it's supposed to be, minor and then major. Now, I would say that so does that make sense, first of all, guys, that for the root note moving, if you can't do that, then how can you expect to do the bar chord? So we've got to break it down, and then the power chord. So that part, that makes sense. And then what you can do is, okay, well, cool, I can build the chords, okay, but this is just a big jump. Then you go into the simplifying, and it's like, okay, well, maybe the jump, let's just like close the gap a little bit. So what's the smallest thing that I can possibly do to go from minor to major? Well, truthfully, the smallest thing that you can do is 7 minor to 7 major. So you're at least getting used to the fact that you're going from this chord to a minor chord to a major chord. So you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You do that 3 times without making a mistake, and then you move on. What do you move on to? You move on to going 7 minor to 6 major. So now you're taking into account, I have to move to the left, and I'm going to do that with minor to major here. So it's gonna, and then here you have to know that it's gonna sound bad. Like you have to accept the fact that this isn't gonna sound like Hotel California. So you go 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. I mean, it doesn't sound horrible, but it doesn't sound like Hotel California. So then you do that 3 times without making a mistake before moving on. 7 to 6, 7 minor to 6 major. Then what do? Then you go 7 minor. What's the next step, Chaz?
To 5 major.
Yeah, 7 minor to 5 major. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it sounds like Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. So now, like, you're gonna hear different songs along the way. And you do that 3 times without making a mistake. Then what do you do after that?
7 minor to 4 major.
Exactly, 7 minor to 4 major. You do that 3 times. Then 7 minor to 3, and 7 minor to 2. So each time you're just stretching just a little bit 3 times without making a mistake. This is how you succeed. Like, these strategies like this is how you succeed. Why? Because you're outsmarting that part of you that's like, oh no, but Hotel California is here to here. Okay, well, be stubborn, and you're going to be playing this for a long time, trying to get that gap going, rather than realizing that maybe when you're pressing down, maybe you're pressing way too hard, and you realize that when it's all right here, it's like, wait a second, why can't I do this? Oh, maybe I'm just like pressing too hard. And also you get this down and you're like, cool, I can go from 7 to 6. I'm confident. I'm using some of that confidence to kind of relax me a little bit. So I'm not pressing as hard. I'm also excited. So now I'm going 7 to 5. And now it's like a game. I'm competitive as well. So I want to get this going. So I'm excited about the result. And then I get that 7 to 5. I have to go to sleep. So that's what I achieved today, 7 to 5. And then I wake up the next day, I review 7 to 5. And then now, you know what, I got to go for it. I'm going to go 7 to 4 and I'm going to do it. Often what happens is that you're so stoked about 7 to 5 that maybe you go for the jump now 7 to 2 and then you get it just because you realize that you were doing too many things before, pressing too hard, too stressed. You weren't looking at the second fret, whatever it might be. You just didn't do it properly. But if you have to, you can go 7 to 6, 7 to 5, 7 to 4, 7 to 3, and then 7 to 2, and then just keep widening that that gap there and that distance, and then achieving it, and that's how you get it done. And it's fantastic, dude. Like that's how you simplify, and I love that you brought that up.